Agora, a nossa primeira palestra internacional do dia, a gente vai estar aqui com a Bibi, The Link Builder. A Bibi ela é especialista em link building, acho que como todo mundo sabe, né? E ela é referência, né, na parte de link building estratégico. Hi, Bibi, how are you?
Hi, hello, or I should say oi. Oi?
Oi!
Oi, Bibi.
Oi, Bibi! It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. Thank you so
Aw,
much.
you. Oh, by the way, if I mess up, let me know because 'cause I'm really bad with presenting online, so please let
No
me
worries.
know.
No worries. No worries. So thank you again. You can start if you want, please.
Alright, let's go. I'm gonna
Yes.
share my screen and hope that the computer doesn't explode. Let me see. Share screen. We're probably gonna get that nice infinity thing. So, do you see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine now.
yeah, you see it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So, I hope you all doing well. I've never talked for a Brazilian audience, so but I think you are nice, probably nice people. So don't kill me. And I want to start. Yeah, I want to start with a question because this is about females, SEO. So of course, who likes periods? What is the word for periods in Brazilian or Portuguese? Does anybody know? I don't know. But anyway, it's about menstruation. I have another question. Oh, actually, I'm on my period today. But my next question is, which niches are you working on right now? So, if you are working in skincare or beauty or dildos or I don't know, books or accounting software, or you're doing specific topics, then put it in a chat because I want to make this talk a little bit more interactive and really get to work, really give you something that you can that's practical and you can use for link building. Speaking of link building, hello, I'm Bibi, the link builder, and today I want to talk about linky content. So, how do you come up with ideas that are easier to build links to, and that potentially could get passive links, so links you haven't asked for, or maybe some PR things that you can get links from big publishers. But first, because this is about women as well, a quick story about women's rights and P. In 2015, Geerte Piening wanted, and her name is really funny because this is about P, but she had to pee, right? And she was at a very busy square in Amsterdam in the middle of the night. She couldn't go to any bar and she really couldn't hold it any longer. So, what did she do? She asked two of her friends to stand guard while she took a piss behind a container. But then the cops came and they gave her a fine of 90 euro for peeing outside on the street. And she was got really upset by this. So she actually didn't want to pay the fine. And she went to the judge and said, look, there is nowhere to pee for women in a safe and clean way. And the judge said, well, as a woman, you can also pee in the men urinoir. Because for some reason, there are 34 urinoirs on the street in Amsterdam for men, but nothing for women. And this has to do with that men pee everywhere, right? So, and that causes a lot of damage. So that's why there are men urinoirs, but there's nothing for women back in the time. So, and this is what the urinal looks like. So you can imagine if you're a woman and you have to pee in this metal thing, your butt is going to stick out and it's not going to be safe and it's disgusting. There's poo everywhere and pee or whatever. So, a friend of mine, Katelijne Hornstra, she got so upset by the judge being such a dick, basically, that she decided, okay, you want us to pee in places that are for men? We're going to do a pee protest. So she made an online post about, hey, we're going to do this pee protest. We should all go to a square in Amsterdam and pee. And this was a pretty small square in Amsterdam. And 1,500 women were ready to go there. So the police said to Catalina, "You can't organize this, like because there are way too many women coming, and it could become a huge problem for safety." So then she said, "Okay, we'll do an online pee protest." So I think it was like somewhere in September, and women could decide how they wanted to protest against this. It had to do something with pee. So as you can see, there's a woman here peeing in the subway. There's a woman here trying to pee at a men toilet. There were people in London protesting, people in Germany and France. We even got some pictures from Japan of people doing this pee protest. And the name of the protest was Zeikwijf, which is actually a swear word for women who complain a lot. But it also means pissy woman. So it was really perfect to take this hashtag, to take this name, the swear word, and make it your own. I also got my butt in a newspaper. So if you can see here on the left, I'm crouching in one of these men urinoir trying to pee, and journalists took pictures of it. Of course, I didn't really pee, but you know. And I also had this little sign there, and now you can see Catalina. She's talking to the press about this initiative, right? And my sign says "Power to the PP." So where am I going with all of this, right? I started looking into because I thought it was really interesting. How were there ever other P protests? And there were, and a lot of them had to do with women and also transgenders. Um, so, for instance, in 2012, I think there was a big protest in India because women didn't have a safe place to go pee. And if they wanted to go to a toilet, this was in a workplace, they had to pay for the toilet. And the men didn't have to, they would just go on the street and pee. Right. So in 2023, there was another protest in India. There was even a protest in Brazil. There you can see a woman who's sitting on the beach on a toilet, and this was about the lack of good sanitation. There was also a pee protest in 1973 for politics, and there was a pee protest by transgender activists who left 60 bottles of urine in front of a building. So, what does this have to do with links? There's somebody I really admire, Giselle Navarro, and she co-founded Neomam, and we actually shared a client in bathroom supplies. And I told the client, look, I was part of this pee protest, and pee has to do with toilets, and you sell toilets, so maybe you should do something with peeing and men and women. But at the same time, Giselle Navarro also came up with the idea, and she executed it really well. So she ran with it, right? So what she did was she created a video where, and then she called it the splashback study. And here there are some facts around peeing, but then from the perspective of men, when they pee into a toilet standing, right, they have this idea that when you angle it in a specific way, the pee goes in the toilet without splashing all over the bathroom. And she wanted to test this out. So what they did was they recorded a video of different angles of peeing, and then with UV light they checked what was the splashback. So you can see it also had a lot of views. So here you can see it. Somebody's peeing in a toilet and it's splashing back. And what they found was that the angle that men think is a good angle actually explodes all over the toilet. So there's literally pee. Sometimes there was even pee on the ceiling for some reason. I don't know how they did that. But here, this test, there was a video test, and it was backed up by a landing page with a whole case study. Um, this shows that you can take something that's part of the culture or part of what's going on currently, and you can relate that to your client, right? Because it has to do with society and the daily person. So like here, if you create content, and this can be video, this can be a calculator, this can be anything, and you connect it to the zeitgeist. Zeitgeist has to do with what is currently going on in society, what are people talking about a lot, what's in the culture, and then you put an angle on it that has to do with your client, if possible as close to their product. uh, then you can get links beyond just reaching out to small bloggers or stuff like that. But how do you do that? Because it can be really hard to be creative, especially now, right? Because the people have so many ideas, and then somebody steals those ideas and they scale it up, and then that link building method is dead. So I have something with my team, and that's something that I also wanted to do with you. And it's called creativity flow sessions. So these are basically a series of 3 brainstorm sessions, and in those sessions we come up with ideas. And I think, oh,
Uh,
oh, I hear some sound.
yeah, yeah, because we are back here to help you
Oh,
with the
what is going
insights.
wrong?
No, it's okay. Just continue, Bibi. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, you're gonna help me with it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Very
Yeah.
good.
because
Yes,
yes. So the
yes.
people send us some ideas, website
Yeah,
ideas. So I'm here to help you.
yeah. So if people can in the chat, please share your topics or whatever you have. But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, they send us ERP softwares, betting and casinos, healthy websites,
Okay,
skincare
great, great.
clinic. So we have
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes. So we'll get into that, but let me first finish this thing before I lose the line of thought. So these creative flow sessions, there are 3 sessions. Um, the first session is basically what we'll do here a little bit is ID diarrhea. So you come up with a lot of ideas that are relevant to your niche or to the topics that you're talking about. And what's very important in those sessions is that you don't have any judgment. Don't think about how you're going to use it. Don't think if it's a good idea, because that will stop your creative flow. I think nowadays we're way too hard on ourselves, and we immediately want to know if something is going to get links, or if it's a big search volume, or stuff like that. But that's going to stop your creativity. That's for later on in a later session. So the first session is idea diarrhea. You come up with a lot of ideas, a lot of different types. The second session is where you are actually warmed up, and you come up with ideas that are beyond what is very obvious, right? So we always do a second session, because then that's when you will get really creative. The creative juices are flowing. And a third session is where you do look at an indication if your topic or if your idea will get links or will get some sort of traction. So this is how it usually works, but we're not going to do that here because that's not possible. We always do 5 or 10 minutes of grounding where we talk through the project and talk about the website and those kind of things. Then we do 30 minutes of cam and sound off. And this is because when you're in a group, you can influence each other in the beginning in a way that stops the creativity. So, in my experience, it works better if you just put your camera off, put your sound off, you go away and you brainstorm for yourself. And then after, and you put all your ideas in the sheet, right? And then after that, for 10 minutes, we do a little circle and we look at the ideas and share insights or whatever. So that's in the first session, that's very free and open. And in the third session, that's the third brainstorm session, you really start looking at your ideas and seeing how they can work. So back to periods. What do periods have to do with creativity? There's a lot of research, but it's not conclusive, that shows that your level of creativity might follow your cycle. And I think this actually goes beyond your menstrual cycle. I think this is also correct for men or other genders. Um, y- During your month or during your 6 or 8 weeks, there are moments where you are more creative, and there are moments where you are more communicative, and there are moments where you're really introspective, right? So everybody will recognize that. And when you become more aware of those moments, then you can really make a lot of use at your peak of creativity. So here, I call it the riding the crimson wave. This is back to menstruation, but I think if you become mindful of however you feel, it counts for everyone else as well. Not this phase, not this flow, but yeah, but just be mindful when you're very creative and when you're not. So the mental phase is intuition and reflection, right? This is for me like the worst moment to give a presentation. I should actually just be in bed and eat chocolate. The follicular phase is when you have a lot of creativity. The ovulation phase is when you're very open to communication and networking. So that's a really good time to go out and meet new people in the industry. And the luteal phase is when you're very productive. This is also a phase where people get very angry because they can't get things done and they get very frustrated. But use that anger and frustration as a drive to get those things done, right? All right, so let's play. Um, Add your nieces in the chat. You already did that. I will share my screen and then we'll brainstorm together. So I go back to the studio. Let me see. Are you guys still there? Yeah.
Yes, we are
All
here.
right. So here's the sheet. I have some questions for you for the presenters.
Yep.
Shall I share this link so that people can also put their ideas in here? Because I thought it was going to be a mess, but now I'm thinking maybe it's more fun to do it that way.
Yeah, we can do that, and then we can put the link on the comments here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna put it in here. Link
Great.
to sheet. Link to sheet. Add your ideas.
So let me explain to them in Portuguese what they
Yeah.
need to do.
Oh, it's failed
Pessoal,
to post. It says failed to post.
yeah.
Maybe try.
Pessoal, ela está compartilhando então agora uma planilha para vocês preencherem ali com tópicos, ideias, para ela fazer uma análise live de como a gente consegue trabalhar os posts, os conteúdos para conseguir links orgânicos. Então, se quiserem, claro, preencham ali com as ideias, com os tópicos ali, temas, ideias, coloquem ali para a gente poder fazer isso agora. Vocês já conseguiram acessar a planilha? Tudo certo? E também a gente viu aqui no chat. Ai, obrigada, gente, quem tá fazendo as doações. A gente viu aqui no chat que vocês também estão com algumas dúvidas. Depois a gente vai enviar as palestras que estão em inglês com a tradução para vocês pós-evento, tá? Então fiquem tranquilos que eu sei que a gente não conseguiu a tradução direta, mas a gente vai enviar isso para vocês depois, tá bom? So back to you, Bibi. I just explained to them.
Okay, cool.
So we had some comments here about some ideas of betting, casinos, health websites.
Sorry, I want to interrupt you. Sorry. I'll first explain how the sheet works, right? A little bit because people are already in it, so that's great. But just a little bit, and then we can go into the topics. I'm so sorry. So name, just put your name, who you are, right? You don't have to. You can also be anonymous. Here, if you think of what kind of type of content it could be, just choose it here. It can be a calculator, a chart, or countdown timer, or whatever. Just look through it, right? If you have a question about the type of content, just ask in the chat. Theme, that can be the topic. So it can be business, marketing, relationships, anything. You don't have to fill all this stuff in, but it can help. A topic idea, here you put in your idea. Notes, here you can put in some notes, why you think this is good or how did you come up with the idea. You don't have to, it's just something that can help you. This is something we can also do in later sessions. And then this is where I always check if it's already existing on the client side, because sometimes with the team, we can come up with linkable assets. And then the client says, but I already have that. And then I'm like, why aren't you getting links to it, right? And then we look at that piece and sometimes they need to improve it or make it different or simply kind of promote it a little bit. Ahrefs is a link to Ahrefs. So let's say you come up with content and you found in Ahrefs that it has a lot of search volume or gets a lot of links or a lot of Pinterest shares. Then you put a link to Ahrefs here. And here you can put inspiration. So that doesn't mean that you have to make a similar piece of content. It just means that something inspired you to come up with this idea. And that can be something from YouTube or TikTok or something somebody said, or it can be the actual piece of content itself that you want to base your new content on. Okay, so sorry. So back to you. You were saying stuff.
Yeah. So we'll explain the spreadsheet now in Portuguese for everyone, okay?
Awesome.
Cool.
Então, pessoal, vocês podem entrar aí na planilha, vocês podem colocar o nome de vocês na primeira coluna ou deixar em anônimo, não tem problema. O type é o tipo de conteúdo que a gente está propondo. Tema é a área aí que vocês estão mandando, então já mandaram de bet, de cassino, da área de skincare. É esse tipo de temas. O tópico ou ideia, vocês podem vir aí com a URL do site de vocês ou com essa ideia mesmo do macrotema. Nota é se for algum tipo de observação de por que você acha que isso é relevante, qual foi a ideia que você teve ali para propor. Essa parte, se já existe no site do cliente, isso é uma análise junto da outra coluna de Ahrefs, é uma análise que a equipe da Bibi costuma fazer e ela propõe que seja feito também, ver se já tem algo relevante, se já tem algo existente que seja similar. E se vocês tiverem inspirações, pode ser vídeo no YouTube, vídeo no TikTok, ou então algum conteúdo que você já tem aí que agora você quer usar ele como base para fazer esse ativo linkável, pode colocar o link delas também. Lembrando que a planilha tá aí, o link dela está aí nos comentários. Foi mandado pelo nosso user da Don't Panic It's Organic. Back to you, Bibi.
All right. So, can you help me? What was one of the topics?
We had betting in casinos.
Yeah.
We have healthy websites,
Mm-hmm.
ERP softwares.
ERP. Let's try that one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just gonna do one as a sort of example, and then we can sort of do it together. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
So ERP is ERP, right? Like this, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what is ERP software again? Can you explain a little bit to me?
It's a software that it's mostly used on companies that work with gasoline, sometimes companies that work with health. It's kind of kind of like a CRM, but it's not for you to talk to your clients. It's more so you know what you have in your catalog, what you have up for sale. It's just to organize everything.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, because I'm really bad at all these abbreviations, so I always forget what it was. Well, I looked on Wikipedia here, enterprise resource planning, right? So the first thing you could do is just look at very directly on a topic. Look at the Content Explorer. Let me see, where is Content Explorer? But later on, it's important that you go a little bit beyond your product or services, because if you only talk about your own product, people are less likely to link to it, because it's very obviously self-serving. By the way, if you need to translate what I'm saying, just interrupt me, and then I can translate it, whatever. So I put it in Content Explorer, and this is the topic, right? And then I'm going to use some filters here. So I can use referring domains to see if there are a lot of sites linking to specific content around ERP. Or I could do page traffic, or I could even do social shares. So let's do referring domains, for instance, and I want to see 1,000 domains linking to it. Now, the other thing I want to do is here you can see that it's giving me already content or pages, right? Sometimes it will only give you home pages, so then you would have to put another filter on as exclude home pages. One other thing that you can do is that you can see here that there are a lot of big sites that get a lot of links to it. And you could do another filter where you only want to see smaller sites. So if that's probably not going to give me a lot of them. So if I do a max of DR40, for instance, that's not going to work, because it's no, it's not going to work, because it says, well, I don't think so. I don't think this is related to it, but this does give me an idea, because I see the word training coming up a lot, and I'm not going to judge myself. So I'm just going to say, what about training? So I'm going to reserve a little spot here, and it's ERP and training. Maybe a list of training resources, right? So that would be a listicle. So I'm putting this here. Now, what a lot of people do is that they start researching their first idea. They're starting to think, oh, is this a good idea? Is anybody searching for it? Whatever. Don't do that. This is the first brainstorm session, which I call ID diarrhea. So I'm gonna move to the next idea. So ERP training. So that was one. Um, Let me see. So let's say I want to look at stuff that gets a lot of traffic around this, right? So maybe there's something that's 10,000 of traffic. So here, oh, this is, I have no idea. This is all other languages. It's a little bit difficult for me. So I'm going to remove this domain thing. And oh yeah, so here it's Wikipedia. What is ERP? Meaning, components, and examples. Um, yeah, so I'm thinking what is ERP is so obvious, but sometimes clients don't have that, right? So I'm just gonna put it in there. I'm not gonna judge myself again. Um, Power data and ERP. So maybe data and ERP. Oh, I'm thinking maybe AI. So now I'm gonna change this thing because it's very organic, right? I'm just gonna go ERP AI. And let's see. Here, traffic. It's a little bit less. A tutorial, ERP system. Oh, I immediately have an idea. Biggest fails in using AI with ERP. Risks, bad resource planning. Examples of big companies. So I'm coming up with these ideas, and they might all be bad, but it's just part of the creative flow. The second session, I would come up with more ideas because I'm warmed up. And the third session, I'm actually going to look, is this going to work? Is there demand? Would it get traction? All those kind of things. So I would probably say here, what is ERP? It's a glossary or definition. And the important thing is you have to think in terms of links. This is not necessarily SEO content. It's content that would get links. So maybe we can do it together now. How shall we do that? So I'll keep sharing my screen. Laura and Rafaela.
Yes.
Yes.
Pessoal, preencham a planilha para a Bibi poder fazer alguma análise. Se alguém tiver alguma ideia de tema, de tópicos, coloque ali. Ela fez agora essa ideia do RP para a gente ter uma ideia aí de como funciona o Brainstorm. Então, se vocês coloquem aí que ela vai fazer agora a live para vocês, qualquer ideia de qualquer tema. Vocês que escreveram no chat ali sobre saúde, sobre skincare, coloquem ali apostas, coloquem ali para ela poder fazer agora, que vai ser bem legal o tema. Por exemplo, now they put like betting, they are just putting some ideas or themes
Yeah,
in your
I think
spreadsheet.
if we do this together, we should have one topic, and then
Yeah.
we all brainstorm on that topic, right?
Yeah, sure.
So,
You can
so
choose the
maybe,
topic.
no, because I can't see the chat. So maybe you guys can.
No, they are putting on their spreadsheet, on your spreadsheet.
Yeah. But I think we for the presentation, if we take one of these topics and then we brainstorm together.
Together?
But
Okay.
I'm gonna do it a little bit with you because we're talking, so that way we can bounce ideas off each other, right?
All right.
So maybe you can pick one of these topics. So we have betting, psychology, solar energy.
Oh, psychology is fun, I
Yeah.
Okay,
think.
cool. Yeah, psychology.
We all have anxiety today nowadays, so
I love it. Good one. So let's go. Do you use TikTok?
yes.
Okay, great. So let's see anxiety. I'm thinking there's a lot of stuff on anxiety on TikTok. Some sounds will go off. I'll try to stop them right away. So I'm gonna put in anxiety, right? And then just see. So one of the things that I look at here is the views and the shares and stuff like that. Do you know of any TikTok analyzer? I haven't found one yet.
No,
No, Em.
no.
I think we have one here in Brazil called Winnie, but it's more like a platform to analyze all types of videos, so YouTube as well. I'm not sure if they work in other countries, but they can tell you what's trending. If you give them like anxiety, they will give you other keywords related and themes that you can use in your videos.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that's great. I will look that one up.
Yeah.
Um, I won't use it now because then it's gonna get way too much. Uh, okay, so I'm seeing stuff here like songs. I'm Gen X, so I have no idea what this shit is about. So I'm just gonna put anxiety music, um, top songs about anxiety or something like that, or top dances to top TikTok dances that can help relieve anxiety or whatever. Um, or let me see. She's doing some kind of bicycling thing. I have no idea. By the way, if you guys have ideas, just interrupt me, right?
Okay.
Yeah. What is anxiety? Let's look on YouTube. Anxiety. And I'm gonna use a filter and do a few counts. So this doesn't mean that you have to do a video. It's just I'm just trying to find things that get a lot of attention and traction, and maybe I can create some other type of content around it. Or wait, maybe a checklist like, do I have anxiety?
The
Let's-
anxiety cycle, I think it's okay too, because it's a topic nowadays. The cycle that the anxiety has in your brain. So maybe it's
Oh,
some. Yeah, we have anxiety here.
then I
Talking
should,
firsthand.
yeah, then I should definitely shut up because I don't have anxiety. So anxiety cycle, that's interesting. So would you do maybe uh, a diagram or a guide or
Yeah, I think a diagram will be
yeah.
cool.
I don't have diagram in here. I'll just say a chart, right?
Yeah, sure.
So one other thing you can do when you in the content explorer, I'm being very chaotic, right? Because that's the part of the creativity. So I hope people don't get anxiety from me hopping from one place to the other. So one thing you can do in the content explorer, let's say I put in anxiety cycle, right? And I remove this filter and I go to social shares and I do Pinterest. And this is not because I want to create a pin, but because I want to see what kind of visuals are getting a lot of attention. So let's say I do 100,000. No, let's go really big. 1 million repins. That probably doesn't exist. No, it doesn't
Mhm.
exist. So I'm gonna do one less. And fuck. Oh, sorry. Can I swear? I don't know. I'll try not to.
No worries.
All right. Oh, this is interesting. So here you can see what are the common habits that make anxiety worse. That's interesting. Do you have habits that make it worse?
Um, I believe so. Have a bad night, like no sleep gets the anxiety worse.
Yeah,
No workout it makes it worse. Um, I don't know. Bad food habits make it worse.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's interesting, right? So to me, and habits are definitely interesting.
Mhm.
So one thing here you can see that it's been repinned 25,000 times. So people are, I would say people probably are interested in it, even though it doesn't have paid traffic or something. So I would look at this article and see and try to see why are people repinning this, and it probably has to do with maybe a visual that's in here, or maybe even something really stupid like a quote. People love quotes, right? So you could include that in your content and then make something like the top 7 memes that help you relieve anxiety or something.
Mhm.
memes that help with anxiety, or you could do like bad habits for anxiety, calculator, or so let's say that you have a journal or something, or
Mhm.
that you mark online what you've done that day, and then you get a number, a score that says, yeah, you're getting a score of 6 because you're doing all these things that are going to make you give you more anxiety. While I'm saying this, I'm realizing that the calculator would probably also give you insights.
I have the same thought.
Yes. So, but because it's ID diarrhea, it doesn't matter because we're in the no judgment phase. As soon as you start judging your own ideas in the first brainstorm session, you're gonna tap out, right? So don't think about it, just dump stuff in there and you'll see later on how you're gonna use it. All right, so maybe we can hop to a next topic. And already see people are doing some things here. Yeah, can you guys pick a next one?
Oh, the solar energy looks okay for me. Or the
Yeah.
betting regulation, it's okay as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one, I would say.
Yeah,
So
that's a tough one.
let's do it. I don't build links for gambling because I don't feel comfortable with it.
So
Uh,
let's go with the solar energy.
no, well, we can do betting. Well, okay, we'll do solar energy first, and then we'll do betting. By the way, apologies for the person who does the betting stuff. Um, so I want to see if you guys can come up with some things, but I don't know how to do this. Maybe where do you want to look for these topics? Do you want to look on YouTube? Maybe ChatGPT could be interesting.
ChatGPT, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, cool. So, what you can ask. So let's move a little bit more away from the direct topic, because like I said before, it's great if you can get links around something that's very closely related to your topic, but it's not always possible because a lot of times people think, oh, you're a solar energy company, you're posting something about solar energy. I'm not going to link to that unless you give me money because you clearly want to, pursue your own business goals. So one thing you can do is that you can say list 20 potential topics related to solar energy that don't mention solar energy. So this is a way to kind of break out of your little box of solar energy. And then what is
Meu fone parou só.
agrivoltaics? Okay. So I'm getting a lot of interesting things. I
Yeah.
have no idea what this is. But it does look interesting. I would probably put all of these ideas in the sheets because I've never thought about this. Is there something that you see that you find interesting in this list?
I'm trying to understand the area.
Okay,
Um,
let's go with 6, right?
yeah.
Space. So space-based solar power concept involving the collection of solar energy in space and transmitting it wirelessly to Earth. One thing I could think of is if we talk about solar energy and space. So this is where you combine your topic with something else that people find interesting, because a lot of people are interested in space. A map of no, or something like how many space panels would it take? Can I ask you, is there something else that you enjoy in life, like a sport or something, or I don't know, hobby? Wait, are you guys still there? Oh, what happened? I don't hear anything.
You
Oh,
don't hear us?
now you can hear us. Okay.
Bibi.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
So you
so
are asking if we have any hobbies, right?
yes.
Yeah, like going to the beach. Maybe we are in a city that Rafa lives that they have beaches here. I believe practicing sports outdoor on the beach, for
Okay, great.
example.
So, how many space panels would it take to charge a fleet of 1,000 jet skis? So this is a ridiculous idea. Nobody's interested, right? But I'm just putting it in there because it's an idea diarrhea, and it's something that came up in my brain. But you could also look at, so it was, we can go back to the Content Explorer and can put it in here. Space-based solar power. Let's see. Oh, this is Pinterest. It's not going to show up anything. Okay, you can choose. Do you want to look at referring domains or page traffic?
Paid traffic, so we can
Okay,
change.
page traffic. So we're looking at content that is around space-based solar power that gets a lot of traffic. So let's say 10K. I don't think there's a lot there. No, nothing. Maybe it's a very new or niche topic. I don't know. Oh, here. Let me see. So there's somebody from Indian descent. Asteroid mining. All right. And
What?
there's something here. Yeah, we're getting really, really trippy now. So I saw two things. This is an article around solar energy facts. And I would just, it's of course, it's kind of obvious to post something like that, but I think it's interesting that it's on earth.org. I would just put it in the sheets, maybe put it in here in inspiration, or you could put it as part of the ideas. And then I'm going to go back to that later. I'm not going to dive into it right now. And the other thing was asteroid mining. That was really, wow, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, it's where they get minerals from asteroids. Yeah, I think we're getting a little bit too far from the topic. Yeah. Um, how much time do we have left? Because I think this was
We are
sorry.
just over 40 minutes now, so
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
people have questions because I can imagine I've been going through this sort of chaotic and fast. Uh, so if anybody has questions, I can answer.
Pessoal, temos perguntas para a Bibi? Coloquem aí no nosso chat. Eu sei que estava difícil um pouquinho de talvez acompanhar ali, porque a gente está sem a legenda, mas mandem as suas perguntas aqui que a gente traduz. Não sei se ficou totalmente claro, mas bora lá, vamos fazer perguntas. So I'm asking them to send us questions in
Yeah.
our chat. Let me just check here if we have something right now. Vazão. No? No questions.
Oh, it's
Oh my
okay.
God.
I think I
Wow.
I probably pushed a lot of people
Oh,
away.
okay. One
Here. Oh,
question
oh,
from
good.
Fabiani. You didn't look at search volume at any time. What's your opinion on it?
Right. So this is not SEO. It's not for SEO content. It's for link content. So anything that's linkable. I could look at search volume, and I would do that. It's just one of the things that indicates that something could get attention. So you can look at search volume. You can look at shares on Pinterest. You can look at referring domains. All these are indications that content could be linkable. But a lot of SEOs, they're so focused on search volume that they forget that there's a video on TikTok about something. It gets 1 million views, right? And that's nowhere represented in search volume. So don't just look at search volume when you're doing linkable assets, because it's not about you or your product necessarily. It's about your audience and what they care about and the people that you want to get links from.
Awesome. Wow, Bibi, you blow my mind. Like
Really? Oh,
asteroid mining was too much for me,
yeah,
but
that was too far.
I love it. I love it. It was awesome, Bibi. Thank you so much for this talk and to be here with
Yeah.
us. And well, I hope you can stay with us the rest of the day. We have just one more international talk, but
Yeah.
if you want, you can spend the rest of the day with us. Thank you so much
Aw,
for
for
your talk.
inviting me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Bibi.
Bye bye.
Bye.